For our next session, we look into AI. AI is shaping how travelers search, book, and choose. We have Mr. Rishi Singh, Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Business Officer, Corporate Flights and GCC MakeMyTrip. Give us a front row seat in how one of India's most powerful travel platforms is leveraging AI. Please join me in welcoming Rishi on stage.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. After a very, very insightful session from Keshav, I'm going to talk about something that I'm hoping you already know, that we're in a great market, we are a part of a great industry, and travel is there to grow in India. But what I'll try and do is try and kind of decipher the opportunity a bit more and see that why do we feel so confident, and maybe what should hoteliers like you think about when you think about growth and you think about the next phase of travel growth in India. An average Indian takes around 6 trips a year. It's a big number. It's a high-frequency number. A lot of times we think that travel isn't a high-frequent category. How do we kind of, does loyalty work because if travel is not frequent? But the truth is that the number of trips an average Indian is taking is quite decent. Maybe 2 trips of leisure, 2 work trips, 1 pilgrimage trip, 1 trip back home. Any idea that how many trips will an Indian take in the next 5 years? I mean, if the number is 6 right now, anyone like with a guess on how is this frequency going to grow in the future? 9? Yeah, it can be double actually, but it depends upon these fundamental drivers. The first thing is that India is becoming richer. Right, we have a population base of 1.4 billion, but the number of Indians who actually can afford to travel are roughly around 60 million Indians living in 30 million households, earning more than $10,000. That's a large number, but in the next 5 years, we'll add 30 million more households to this number, so India will become a large, affluent country in the next 10 years. The second large driver for travel is young people. As Gen Zs become, I mean, they start earning more and they start spending more, travel is the #1 category that they spend on. And India has a huge demographic dividend in that sense that we have a fairly young audience who wants to spend on travel as the #1 category. The other thing is that we are a digital savvy country. Out of the 1.4 billion people who live in India, 800 million people have access to a smartphone. 400 million people actually make payments using UPI or credit cards, so digital payments. So we're a very confident economy in that sense, where people use digitally to discover categories, to buy them, and to pay for them. And it plays out extremely well for travel, because what it means is that Indians can discover new places easily. They can discover where to stay, how to go. In fact, we've just kind of launched a chatbot which helps people travel called Myra. And the kind of search and research that we're seeing happening on Myra is like incredible. Like people forming very complex itineraries, now using AI frameworks and digital chatbots. But the largest driver for travel in any economy is connectivity. How many airports, how many planes, how many destinations are connected directly through a flight? A destination is not known unless it has an airport. I mean, for someone in South India to know North India or destinations in North India, the first driver of growth for any market is that how well is it connected to a flight or how accessible is an airport. 80% of urban India now lives around 100-kilometer perimeter from an airport. So we are getting more and more connected through flights, through artery highways, through trains like Vande Bharat. And this becomes the largest driver for growth, both from a demand side and from a supply side. And clearly, there are some case studies I wanted to bring out saying that how does connectivity drive growth? And these 3 examples, maybe Ayodhya is known by everyone, so I'm not going to talk about Ayodhya much. But Darbhanga, like a small city in Bihar, started as a labor market till Indigo connected its flight. And with that happening, economic activity improves. And now that it's not just now like a transit labor market, it's becoming an SME market. Demand for accommodation around Darbhanga is growing. The third one is Khajuraho. Again, what Air India has done is they've kind of formed a connectivity between Varanasi, Khajuraho, and Delhi. Just that triangular connectivity is seeing huge amount of demand. In fact, Khajuraho is also becoming one of the largest inbound international tourists coming to India and exploring that market. So clearly, there's this direct correlation between people coming to that market and how easily is that market connected to hubs in India. And again, looking at this, the future drivers for demand for hotels are broadly these 5 buckets, and maybe the first 2 are quite intuitive, which is pilgrimage, so I'm not going to talk about it. But let me talk about the hub phenomena. A decade back, India was necessarily a 4-hub market. And then came cities like Pune and Hyderabad. Just sheer size of connectivity saw economic activity as step 1, and step 2 as leisure growing around these markets. Now, Pune is just not an education hub, it's an industrial hub. Also, there's nearby getaways from Pune. So this hub and spoke effect is very, very important. The other large thing that we are all focused on, can India build inbound? Can people come to India as a destination of choice? Maybe that dream is a little far away, but a thing that's happening in reality is that because both the large carriers in India, which is Air India and Indigo, are investing in large bodies. Now, what large bodies do is that they kind of connect India as a transit hub. Now, think about what happened in Dubai. Dubai basically became a transit hub because of Emirates and Etihad. So when people started going to Europe via that transit hub, they would stay back in Dubai for a couple of nights and explore that market as well. Now, this is quite real in India right now. Basically, on MakeMyTrip right now, we get bookings saying that the people wanting to go from Dubai to, say, Bangkok, they go via Dubai, Bombay, Bangkok. And we have this real opportunity to ensure that as India becomes a transit hub, can we ask these guys to kind of stay back in the city and explore India as well? And the other one is MICE, the large group travel opportunity. Right now, we lose a lot of group travel to markets like markets in Southeast Asia and GCC region. There's a huge opportunity of ensuring that in MICE, which is meetings, incentives, and events, at least the meetings and events part, we can hold back and we can build them within our own country as like transit corridors improve. Again, like I just thought we'll put up what are we seeing on the platform, what are the next Ayodhyas and Varanasis. So huge opportunity again in cities like Gaya, which anyways is seeing again inbound coming from Southeast Asia. But as connectivity to Gaya improves, it can become the next Ayodhya. And then this like a North Odisha city called Deogarh, again because now it's getting connected via an airport, the future of these markets look great, and we're already seeing demand build up for these smaller markets. The other thing is business corridors. We've already seen explosion happening in Indore and Pune. The next set of Indore and Punes are ready. The Gujarat corridor of Deora and Rajkot, again having airports, having good road connection, we'll see very, very strong SME demand building up. And again, the opportunity is there because this is good, consistent weekday demand. And hence, hoteliers can think about that these will be the next large industrial hubs in India. And then finally, the hub city phenomena. I think the most important one. Delhi, Bombay, Indore, we all know. But I think Guwahati as a gateway to Northeast, Nagpur as a gateway to Central India, are going to build up dramatically. And again, the opportunity exists because what happens is when hubs become bigger, they do not become just big for one economic activity. Overall, market improves, whether it's education or people traveling for leisure. Again, Nagpur has this huge opportunity that there's large forest area around Nagpur that can become the future for leisure as well. And what's really exciting about India is that we're actually in a super cycle on aviation growth. We right now have around 160 airports. We are going to add another 30 more airports in the next 5 years, which means that there will be 30 more hubs available for travel growth. We right now fly around 840 aircrafts daily. That number is going to get up to 1,400. And this is a real number because the order book between Air India, Indigo, Akasa is upwards of 700. And finally, the passenger growth is almost going to double. So all said and done, if aviation is the key to unlocking a market, we are sitting on a gold mine opportunity. Obviously, the opportunity at a macro level looks bright, but the devil is in the detail. And as long as we understand what places demand is surging for what occasion, we can plan both supply and the demand corridors much better. Thanks. That's all I had. If there's any question, would happily answer. Cool. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.